Alright guys, so today I want to go over shotgun shells and what the numbers mean. Now I have a couple different types of shotgun shells here. I've got 12 gauges and 410s. We're not going to worry about the gauge of the shell between the 410 and the 12 gauge. What we're going to look at is the shot size inside. Lots of times when people start using shotguns, they don't understand fully what these numbers mean. So like this is a 4 shot, a 5 shot, 6 shot, 7.5 and 9. You can get these all interchanged. You know, you can get 6 shot in the 410 size we have here. You can get 7.5 in the 12 gauge. I just couldn't get all 12 gauges in the store, so we've got a little bit of mix of the size of the shell. But the actual BBs inside are going to be the same size. Of course, you'll have more fill in the larger 12 gauge shells than you would in the smaller 410s. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and open these all up so you guys can see the size of the shot inside. Now I'm sure I'm going to make a little bit of a mess, but I'll just go ahead and vacuum when I'm done because I'm sure I'll drop some of these. But we're going to cut each one of these open so you guys can see the difference of the shot sizes and how big they are. As the number gets smaller, the BBs or pellets inside actually get larger. So let's go ahead and start with the 9 shot. This is just a Remington 410. It's got 9 shot inside. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into this one. Hopefully these aren't going to be too hard for me to cut into. Okay, they're not too bad. Pretty easy. So we're going to go down here now and empty these out. And like I said, I know I'm going to make a little bit of a mess, but that's alright. I'm not going to bother emptying them all out. Well, I'll empty more out here. There's a lot more in here. There you go. That's 9 shot. And of course, like I said, if you got 9 shot in a 12 gauge, you'd have a lot more little pellets in there because you have a lot more space to fill in a 12 gauge. So these are really tiny. I'll zoom up on them here so you can see them. They're very tiny, and there's a whole bunch of them. Grab a couple and just hold them up in front of the camera here also. Whole bunch of them, little tiny shots there. These people use for bird shooting and such, and they're going to give you a lot of spread, but they're not going to be as effective for bigger game. Let's go to 7.5 shot. These are very commonly used. These are commonly used again for bird shooting. The 9s are often used for clay pigeon shooting and stuff like that, and also shooting flying birds. 7.5 is very common, again, for shooting birds that are flying. They can be used for clay pigeons, but usually people go down to the 9 for that. So this is 7.5 here. I don't want to get it too cut open here and spill all over the back. Alright, so here's 7.5. And I'll try to zoom in here so you can see they are bigger. Let me grab a few of these 7.5s. And here's the 7.5s. Now let me grab a couple 9s. Hard to grab these. You might not be able to tell which ones are which now. They're kind of mixing in. Get them separate here if I can. These two over here are 9 and these are 7.5. So you can see that the 7.5 are bigger. Not a huge difference, but there is definitely a difference. Now let's go to the number 6. And these are going to make a bigger mess because there's going to be a lot more because these are bigger shells. But like I said, we're just looking at the size of the shot inside. So this is a number 6. These are used often for birds, also used a lot for rabbits and such, rabbit hunting and such. Used for small game a lot. Alright, so these are number 6 shot, and this has some padding in there as well. Like I said, the 12 gauge is going to hold a little bit more. So that's most of them out there. There's 1 or 2 left. So the white stuff in there is just filling to make sure it's fully a full shell, so there's no air in it. So here's the 6 shot, and I'll compare that there to the 7-shot. So as you can see, the 6-shot, pretty good amount bigger than the 7.5. Let's go ahead and keep moving down the line. Here we have 5. It's getting harder and harder to cut into some of these. Larger ones are harder. Alright, so here's the 5-shot. If I can cut it enough yet. And these just look a different color because they are plated. So now we have 5-shot, and as you can see, 5-shot is just ever so slightly bigger. Try to get a little side by side here. Here is the 5-shot versus the 6-shot, and as you can see, the 5-shot is ever so slightly larger. Now let's move down to the 4-shot. This one's filled with little seeds, it looks like. Interesting. Never seen that before. So now again, same thing as the last couple. They're a little bit bigger. Now there are 3-shot, 2-shot, 1-shot, and you know, they just keep getting a little bit bigger. Then we can get into even larger. Here's double-aught buck, and there's 9 pellets in each one of these. And double-aught buck is going to be a good amount bigger. This is more for shooting larger game, and obviously by the name buck, for shooting deer. Get into this one. This one's going to be filled with a lot of filling because there's just 9 pellets in this one. This one actually says on the box 9 pellets. I think I got them all. So as we can see here now, much larger. These are pretty darn big BBs here, and big lead pieces. That's like shooting, they're a little smaller than 9mm. I believe they're like 0.33 of an inch or so, something around there, and they're really big. Now they didn't fill up the whole cartridge, or they mostly did, but they used this filling to fill up the rest of the cartridge. Usually you're going to get between 8 and 10 pellets in the 12-gauge buckshots. Now we have, this was double-aught buck. Now we have triple-aught buck. And this one is a 410. This one has 4 triple-aught bucks in here. So let's go ahead and open this one up. Again, if you had triple-aught buck in a 12-gauge, you would have more like between 8 and 10 pellets. This one's going to be hard to cut because I'm sure the pellets are taking up pretty much this whole space. Might dull my knife a little bit cutting these open. Alright, I think I got it enough, yep. So this is triple-aught buck. This is a home defense round in 410. This will go in my handgun, my revolver. And this one just has 4. Now like I said, if you get 12 gauge, you're going to have more. These are, I believe, 0.36 of an inch, and that's kind of weird. These two are kind of stuck together. Interesting. There, they broke apart, they would have. And these are hard to tell. But here's the triple-aught, and the double-aught. You can tell the triple-aught is larger. So these 4 basically took up almost that whole shell length. And this is basically like almost as big as 9mm, so when you shoot one of these, it's like shooting 4 9mm bullets all at once out of the little 410. If you had it in here, you'd be shooting, you know, between 8 and 10 is how many they would put in a 12 gauge. Now we have these PDX1 home defense defenders, they're called. These go into things like the Tourist Judge or Smith & Wesson Governor revolvers, and this is a home defense round. This actually has 3 defense pellets and also lots of little BBs, 12 little BBs. So these 3 defense pellets are going to be about the same diameter as the triple-aught buck there, but they're not going to be round. So let me go ahead and see if we can get into here. Okay, I think I got in. And what we have here, I can get these out. Well, here's the one pellet. Let me just show this pellet first. Oh, I got the second one out now. Here comes the third one. After this third one falls out, we'll see all these extra little BBs. Doesn't want to quite get out of there. Let me see if I just cut it off. Alright. So there's one more pellet right here. Get that out if we can. Alright, so there's our 3 pellets. And let me go ahead before I dump these BBs out and show. These pellets are basically triple-aught buck. It's just they're a different shape. They're actually a little bit bigger and wider, larger diameter. However, they're not circular. They're flat pellets. So these will fire out of the gun first, and behind it, you got 12 BBs extra. So in a home defense situation, you could use something like triple-aught buck, or you could use something like the PDX1s. You're going to get 3 big pellets followed by some extra BBs for, you know, some extra spread. So you know you're going to hit something basically. Now these little BBs, it looks like they're probably about number 2 size, because number 4s are a good amount smaller than they are. So I'd say these BBs are pretty big to begin with as well. So these home defense rounds are pretty highly rated by the company, and as well I've heard good reviews about them. So these are great for home defense, and as you can see here, that's what comes out of them. The last thing you got is slugs. Now I do have some slugs for 410s and 12 gauge. Basically, a slug is just one big hunk of metal. So in here, don't know if you can see this on camera, you can kind of see the shade of it here. This is going to be alright guys, so my camera battery died, I had to charge it up a bit. So we left off on the shell, the 12 gauge slug here. I'm going to go ahead and try to cut into this right behind the slug. I think I can see it here. This one might have some backing to it. This one's going to probably be the hardest one to get into. Alright, it looks like I got into it here. And we got some padding. Let me see if I can push this out. Looks like I can. Alright. So here is a 12 gauge slug. And as you can see, it's one big hunk of metal. We'll compare it to the triple-aught buck here. And as you can see, there's just no comparison. Now with this, you just get one shot. So it's, you know, they use this for deer hunting and other things. It's not really used too often for home defense because you do only have that one shot. But then again, if you're, you know, a good shot, it is a pretty devastating round. So basically, I just wanted to go ahead and open these all up. Like I said, the size of the cartridge here that we're showing doesn't really matter. What I was trying to show is the size of the BBs inside. And like I said earlier, of course, you're going to have more fill in a 12 gauge shell than you would in the smaller shells, 28 gauge, 20 gauge, 18 gauge, so on. The smaller the shell gets, the less fill it's going to have. As you can see over here, there's obviously more fill in the number 6 than we have in the 7.5 because the number 6 has more space inside to contain more pellets or BBs in there. So I just wanted to go ahead and show that so you guys can see the difference. I was kind of confused myself when I started shooting shotguns again, and just wanted to show you guys the difference, so if you go ahead and buy shells, you know what you're getting. So anyways, have any questions, let me know, and we'll see y'all later.